Number 10 blocks Beaver release plan as officials view it as a Tory legacy. I'm going to read into this exclusive from The Guardian, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an exclusive from The Guardian with the headline that number 10 is blocking Beaver release plans as officials view it as a Tory legacy. The exclusive reveals that Natural England is furious that years of work has been undone, with Minister urged to push the policy through. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share this across social media so others are notified of this video. Now, I want to stress something because I have read part of this as well. They are saying they are not saying that this is what they are doing. Labour, they're not saying this is not what they're doing. The chances are they are probably stalling on this. I don't know why they're calling it a Tory legacy, because in my view, it's like, who cares? It's about protecting beavers. There should be no reason to block it unless there is something that could be an issue. Then there's no reason to not go ahead with this. It's something that, yes, it's something that's been built by the Conservatives. But if it's a good thing, what is the problem? Well, the problem is it's because you're under the Conservatives, we don't want the Conservatives to look good. And I'm just like, who cares? Like, who cares? Like, I honestly don't care that if it was under the Conservatives or under Labour. Like, if it's good for Natural England, if it's good for the nature, then go ahead with it. And as somebody that I care about the wildlife, I care about nature, I care about creatures, and I don't want plans here to be blocked just because of a political view that it makes the Tories look good or something. Like, who the hell cares? Just put it through, basically, is my position on this. So Downing Street has blocked plans to release wild beavers in England because officials view it as a Tory legacy, The Guardian can reveal. So Natural England, the government's nature watchdog, has drawn up a plan for reintroductions of the rodents, which until about 20 years ago had been extinct in Britain for over 100 years. Having been hunted for their fur, meat and scent oil, beavers can create useful habitats for wildlife and reduce flooding by breaking up waterways, sowing water flows and creating still pools. The reintroduction plan was signed off in recent weeks by the Environment Secretary Steve Weave, who passed it into number 10. But there it was blocked by senior Downing Street officials, who were not in favour of the policy as they viewed it as a Tory legacy, sources said. The former Conservative Prime Minister Boris Johnson was keen to reintroduce beavers, promising in his 2021 conference speech to build back Beaver. He also tried to get permission for his father Stanley to release the rodents on his Exmoor estate. Natural England executives are furious that years of painstaking work to bring the beavers back to Britain's rivers have been undone, The Guardian understands. Campaigners for Natural History GCSE recently said that this had been blocked too because it was seen by Labour officials as a Tory idea. If true again, this is ridiculous. Representatives of leading nature charities, including the National Trust, Albanian and Reptile Conservation Trust and the Mammal Society, have written to Steve Reed to ask him to push the policy through so beavers can be released across England. They said the continued absence of a formal wild release licensing system is preventing much needed progress in restoring our species to our landscape and catch bays, and releasing their full potential as a nature-based solution. Rob Stoneman, the Director of Landscape Recovery at the Wildlife Trust, said the UK is suffering from a freshwater crisis, polluting rivers, floods, and a threat of drought. And at the same time, it's experiencing the appalling effects of the nature and the climate crisis. These are all linked, and it would be benefiting hugely from a cheap, natural solution: beavers. And it's high time we free the beavers and let them supercharge landscape recovery in the UK. It's extremely frustrating that wild beaver licenses have been blocked. Currently, the licenses and unlicensed releases, there are about 1,500 beavers in Scotland and 600 to 800 in England. Beavers are legally released by wildlife agencies in Scotland, but it's still illegal for anyone to release them in England, where they have to be kept in pens. The plan will allow Conservatives to release beavers into the wild on their land, rather than in captivity, so they could live free and repopulate England under the plan. Licenses would have been granted to appropriate schemes. A 5-year government study found that illegally releasing beavers on the River Otter in Devon were boosting wildlife and having a positive impact on the local area, so the rodents were given permission to stay. Professor Richard Brazier, who has conducted much of the beaver research in England, has said, From our research over the last 10 years and the wilder research around the beaver introduction globally, the overwhelming consensus on the impact of wildlife beavers is hugely positive. It is high time that we humans recognise that we need the help, and did so by launching the coherent national-scale strategy on beaver reintroduction that is desperately needed to recover nature and build resilient ecosystems across England and Wales. The National Trust is pushing to be allowed to release beavers on some of its properties. Ben McCarthy, its head of Nature Convention, said, "We have been in constructive discussions with DEFRA and Natural England about a wild release program for several years. And one such site we feel we could work really well for the wild release would be some of the land we care for at Purbeck Hearts in Dorset, which is part of 3,381 acres. That's 8,231 acres of supernatural nature reserve. Feasibility studies have shown that Little Sea, a freshwater lake surrounded by dense vegetation, it's a highly suitable site for beavers, with plenty of room for them to gradually spread up across the landscape, increasingly biodiversity and improving waterways due to their natural behaviour of dam building and tree coupling to help create nature-rich wetlands." The National Farmers Union has campaigned against the release of beavers, arguing that they could flood fields. However, many farmers support their release and say any of the impacts could be managed by moving the animals away from the farms to a more appropriate area. Exactly. Like this is nonsense from the NFU here. Martin Lyons, the chief executive of Nature's Friendly Farming Network, said, "There's a lot of evidence showing that benefit beavers bring, and this could be getting this right could deliver significant savings in mitigating flooding, holding waters in the landscape and help farmers during the drier periods of the year, and helping to tackle the challenges of climate change and nature loss. It's critical that the government releases the licensing framework to ensure that beavers are reintroduced responsibly in the right places, and the process is being managed to achieve its best outcomes both for nature and through production." So a government spokesperson has said, this is the point, "This story is categorically untrue. The government is working with Natural England to review options on species reintroductions, including beavers." So the government have denied this. They are saying that this is not what's happening. So they are saying that they are still doing it, but when they are doing it is what they're saying. So they're saying that this story is absolute nonsense, is what they are saying. Now, this is not the only place that I've seen this stories like this pop up. I have heard about this from one or two other sources as well. So it's not just The Guardian that has reported on this. But the government here are saying this is not true. Now, I hope that it is not true. I hope the story is not true. I hope that the Labour government are not holding this back simply because of a Tory legacy. And if someone has tried to block it because of that, that idiot needs to be fired. Because it's not about political point scoring here. This is about improving our nature. And beavers can play a great role in doing that. Yes, of course, there is the risk of farms. But like it said in the report there, if they are away from farms, they're not going to be a problem, are they? So I do think there is a challenge to this, but those who are working on this project will know best places to put them, as they've said here. They should, unless they have legitimate reasons why they can't do it, I don't see any reason of releasing them into the wild. Again, as long as they're away from farms, they're not going to be a problem there. But what do you guys think? Government have denied that they are doing this. However, it still hasn't happened. If the Guardian are saying that the number 10 are blocking this, the government are saying not. But who's telling the truth here? And what do you guys think about beavers being released in England? There's 600 to 800 currently. Let me know your thoughts and more on this story down in the comments section below. Now, if you found this video informative or helpful to you, please hit that like button. We greatly appreciate. Share this across social media so others are notified this video. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to go one step further and finally support me and the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content on those platforms. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.